Hello, everybody. Welcome to the CT Sports Talent Show. My name is Chris Saunders, and I'm pleased to have on with me Reagan Ward. She's a part of Pomperaug on the girls' basketball team heading into her senior year. Reagan, I appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, you and I were just talking about obviously various things and such. We were talking about last season a little bit. And, we had the opportunity, myself, my broadcast partner, Dave Grant, who's amongst one of the leaderboards for boys basketball because he played at Pomperaug, one of the all time leading scorers as well. And to see the history of Pomperaug and hear about it before that game was awesome. And to see how you guys play, as far as watching, it's one thing to hear about it, it's another thing to watch it. I was very impressed against Thomaston how you played. I know you came up short against Bethel after your bye in the second round for Class L, but you guys had a very, very good season.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a great season. It was super enjoyable.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, we just came in. I think we had a lot of people returning, and we were just able to kind of go off of what we did. My sophomore year, the year before, when we made it to the state championship.
Mhm.
A big thing for us is getting up and down the floor. Um, playing great defense is a big thing. Pressing and just everyone is a part of the offense. We all are capable players. Everyone can do multiple things. And I think a big part of our offense was also everyone can shoot, which is a great thing. We drive and kick, and that's a very big part of our game. So yeah, it was definitely a great season, super enjoyable. It wasn't great losing to Bethel and States, but sometimes it's bound to happen. And it was a great environment, two great student sections. A little nerve-wracking, but definitely a super fun game to play in. So.
One thing I noticed too specifically, and like you just mentioned, as far as driving, kicking, shooting, a lot of times when it comes to, again, I've seen a lot of girls basketballs, it's hard to find a complete team, and by no means, and I'm sure coach would probably be like, no, we weren't complete because we didn't beat Bethel. But the point that I'm trying to make is it's hard to find teams who can do everything well. And I know I saw a small sample size of you guys, even in your loss against Bethel. I felt like defensively you guys were strong. You were able to stick to your positions. The communication I thought was very good. You had speed. You could obviously shoot the three ball. I saw that plentiful against Thomaston. But you guys also were not selfish. If you felt like you didn't have a shot, all right, kick it out. And then who knows, maybe you'll have a better shot. You may get the ball back within 5 seconds. You never know. I felt like the unselfishness was something I was very impressed with too.
Yeah, I think a big thing with that is just we were all pretty close with each other. Played together a lot, and growing up, we've played together AU or anything, and just being comfortable with each other, knowing that if I pass this ball, they're gonna be able to do something with it. They'll make something with it, and knowing just being comfortable and also confident in ourselves and in our teammates. So that definitely helped with not being selfish and being able to have such a great team culture. There's never been a lot of problems in the locker room or anything or on the court, and we always are super close. We go out to eat after a game, or we hang out and do pasta parties or whatever we can. So I think that is a big part of the team culture and being able to be confident and comfortable around each other. I also think we all know, like, I know all my teammates are great basketball players, so that definitely helps in being able to be unselfish. Sometimes if you're not as confident a teammate, it's hard, but we all knew we were capable and that we could either shoot, get to the hoop, or whatever. So I think that definitely helped with the unselfishness. And then also on defense, communicating was huge. And I think we were all pretty close at all guards, basically, with a little bit of height. I was about the third tallest kid on the team, but sometimes I was guarding a big or I was guarding a point guard, so it just depends. I think we could all play defense on multiple different positions, and then switching and just communicating, working on that in practice, and then implementing it into a game.
At what point did the game start to slow down for you? Because just in my conversations and hearing you talk, and even before we started the interview, I could tell your brain's moving. It's going as basketball is being spoken. So when you're playing, or even if you weren't playing, like when did the game start to slow down for you?
I think I've been, playing at a high speed for a while. Just in AU, playing on competitive AU teams that travel and play against, circuit level basketball teams. So I think the game has always just come to me like pretty easily, as the game has never felt like it's been at a super high speed. Growing up, it definitely felt different, or going against guys is definitely also different. So going against some of my guy friends sometimes that play basketball, or at a training session there, if there's guys working out there, that definitely, helps with the game being slower than when you translate it into girls basketball. And then also, it's a different speed of game. So I think mentally I've always found it not to be super out of my realm, and if I do, I just try to take a step and then just slow it down for myself and just play at the speed that I know how to play it.
So what you're saying is one on one with some of the Pomperaug guys, you're saying you could beat them, right?
I didn't say it that, but we'll see.
I just said Pombrai. I could put out anybody. So, but that's good though, and it's funny that you say that because I know UConn, I know South Carolina, I know and I know I named colleges, but I know a lot of the women's basketball teams will have actual either former players or will have guys who maybe played basketball back in the day, but just are not playing, but they're on the staff or they're whatever. Point is to see that different speed, see the strength and so on that is hard to replicate, and by no means am I being disrespectful as far as to the women that, it's by no means. But what I'm trying to say is to see that it's almost like, okay, well, if I can handle that, if I can go up against that, then not to say the other side's easier, but I'm more prepared than maybe the opposite side. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, definitely. I talked to some college coaches about that, and I asked one time, like, who do you play against and everything, and do you play against the guys' team sometimes? They were like, no, we don't do that, but we do get guys that just enjoy the game, play rec at college, whatever. And I've even seen, it's hard because they are, taller, more physical, typically faster, which is just true. It's just how it is. But it definitely makes you better, it makes you a stronger player and quicker and everything. Even today, I was training and I went against two guys, and it was a lot different speed. It was a different physicality level.
Mhm.
So I think that is a huge part and it helps you get better. It's like when you run, running hills helps translate into when you're running on a court, obviously it's not as hard. So now you're stronger and you're faster. Maybe you're not running a lot up hills, you're running just 10 hills and then you get on the court and the sprints are easier for you. So that's just how it is. You push yourself in training and practice and everything. And then once you get into the game, so it's easier for yourself.
How was it, or how is it rather, as far as going through the training methods, like you said, with the hills, going up against the competition, the opposing gender and such. How is that? Because I feel like sometimes it's maybe not so much the hills, but like the mental process of kind of like if you're having just a rough day, everybody has those. Everybody's got one of those days, or maybe a streak of that, right?
Mhm.
How hard is it to, and I'm sure you've gone through it too, like I said, we all have. How hard was it to kind of snap out of that and be like, all right, Regan, I've had enough of this. All right, let's go. Let's try to break the spell here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. It's tough for sure. I think it's really just knowing that you're getting better in the process. So even though mentally, like it's discouraging sometimes, getting blocked. And today I got blocked and my trainer was like, it's okay. Like I'd rather that than you not try it. And I was like, I don't like it. I don't enjoy getting blocked. It's not fun. But at the end of the day, it's helping me get better. So I think you just got to have that mentality and just try to keep that through when you're working out at a harder level or you're sprinting or doing whatever. I don't love running, but you got to do it. And then you just know that it's helping you in the long run. I think that's just the mentality you have to have, and that helps you get through it. It's hard. It's not always easy, but you gotta just have a good mentality, be positive through it, and just know that it's helping you in the long run.
Now, as you head into your senior year, you have the opportunity, which will be the first time as far as with the classes this year, right? So for the seniors, they don't have the benefit of this over the next, hopefully, many, many years. But being able to have the out of season practices and such, being able to go, I think, 2 hours for 2 days per week, or they can do, different variations, etc. Uh, Being able to have that. I know it's early and it's still, we're only in July. Tomorrow's July 4th, so congratulations, happy July 4th to everybody out there who do celebrate it. How has that been going so far for you?
It's been really good. We get a core group, and before we started these practices, we just had lifts every week. And hoping that everyone else, we're still lifting outside of it, but being able to get people together and everything. And then we have these two practices a week where we lift before, and then we get shots up. We work on handle, everything, make sure that people are touching a ball. It's great to get as many people with the ball as possible because people don't always, that's not their main sport. We have soccer players, softball players, volleyball players. So it's definitely great to be able to get into the gym together. And there's only two of us, two starters coming back, so there's going to be three people, on the new people on the court with us.
Mhm.
So having them being comfortable in the game, going up and down against each other has just been great because now we're going to be more comfortable when the season starts. And those first 2 weeks, instead of knocking off the rust and everything, we're going to be able to just go straight in, be competitive, and just be ready for our games coming up.
How's it been for you kind of now with the added, I don't want to say pressure, but there's now added, there's things being added to your, to your repertoire as far as kind of now with you being a leader to a certain degree now more being a senior, it's your final year. Like you said, you have a number of, players who are going to be new amongst the starting five. So how have you been able to kind of react to that?
Honestly, I don't feel much pressure from it. I think I'm just excited to see how the season's gonna pan out. I've been working on the things. I've used to mainly been a three-point shooter. I think that's and occasionally going to the hoop, but the three-point shot has been a big part of my game. And just knowing that in this upcoming season, I'm gonna have to add to that, pull-ups, going to the hoop. So that's been something I've been really working on, against people, just in my driveway, whichever way I can. And just being able to keep up the morale, it would be super important, keep the energy up as a leader. And I'm just hoping that it'll be, everyone will be ready to work hard. And I think they will, and that's what I'm really excited for. That's why I'm not feeling a ton of pressure from it because I think everyone knows like once we get in the gym, it's time to work and we'll have fun outside of it. But when it comes down to it, we're ready to have another winning season. We lost a few people last year, which is always hard, but every team loses people, loses seniors. So I think we're ready to just know, even though we lost people, we're gonna have the goal that we did last year and the year before and just try to keep getting as far as we can, try to get to the state championship again, no matter what happens, who we lost or anything. So
What part of because you talk about with basketball, there's three levels, right? Outside the 3-point line, then you go from the elbow, and then you got the low post. You mentioned how your 3-point shooting has been your obviously your strength now for a number of years, and you're trying to add to that from the elbow and the post. Which one of those two, the latter ones, is probably has been your most difficult, if that makes sense, during
I
your
think the most difficult has been pull-ups because going like I have gone to the hoop before and it's been something that I have been somewhat comfortable with
Mhm.
and getting in and I think mainly it's a mental thing just knowing when to pull up. It's
Yeah.
like when I get the ball I try to make like a little path like see where the defenders are and see how I'm going to get to the hoop but it's harder to do that with the pull-up. So I think a lot of the time, once I start driving, I'm thinking go all the way instead of thinking, wait, I could pull up here. So I think that it will definitely be the hardest thing is not even like the pull up itself because I've been working on that and I'm comfortable with it,
Mhm.
but it's knowing when to do it. And I think in basketball, it's mainly everything. That's the hardest part is knowing what's the best shot in this situation, when to take the three, when to pull up, and when to go all the way.
Have you also thought about too now with adding and maybe doing something that's outside your comfort zone, also knowing that okay, I can't do the same thing every time because after the second or third time, the whoever you're going up against and there's going to be film on you, they're going to notice okay, she only goes to her left. All right, she only goes to her right. All right, she does the same spin move and then we'll do a 360 turn left, whatever the case may be. Have you thought about that too as far as kind of tinkering a little bit and doing different things?
Yeah, definitely. I think the reason I'm working so hard on being able to do all three is that the defender is it's harder to keep them off guard, so that they'll come up on my shot originally because that's always been, in the past few seasons, that's been what I've done the most. So they'll probably start up on me and then hopefully I can blast by and get to the hoop and then they're like, okay, wait, I also have to guard that and just make it harder. And then they try to sit off a little bit and then I can shoot it or I can drive and do a step back or a side step or something. So that's why just having so many different parts of the game will be important. And then also knowing that if I drive, I can also kick it to my teammates for a shot or something like that. So I think that's the biggest thing is like keeping the defender off on their feet and not knowing what I'm going to do. So I think I just got to keep mixing it up and look at the defender's body language. That's the biggest thing. If their hands are down, you shoot it. If not, you can go by, jab step, all of that stuff.
Talk to me about how much Coach Fortier has meant to you and the program during your
He's
time.
been definitely a big part of the program. He's been there for a while. And he's been great. He's super comfortable around him. So I think that's a big thing is like you're not a lot of times it's hard when if you have a coach that's constantly yelling at you or constantly bringing you down. So people aren't comfortable doing what they can. But with Joe, I think you're comfortable. You're able to make mistakes and he's like, "Okay, like I get it. I know I did that. I'm fine with that." Or you take a shot that maybe he's like, "Okay, maybe you shouldn't have shot that, but
Yeah.
next time try something different." So he's very open with how we play and I think that's super important so that we're not nervous to make mistakes and we're not like super frantic on the court, and it makes it a much calmer, easier game to play.
It's so funny because I've talked to so many players from their freshman year to senior year. I didn't have the opportunity to talk to you your first 3 years, but just in conversations I've had, first year, maybe 2 years, it's coach. By the fourth year, you're calling your coach by your first name if they've been there long enough. So I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I think that's great is we're all really comfortable with him, so we all just call him Joe. So yeah, I never really thought about it because all my other coach I call coach whatever, but yeah, no, it's Joe and Kaz with us, and I just like that we're all really they're comfortable enough with us, and we're comfortable with them. I mean, they call me Ward. They've always called me Ward, so
Yeah, that's true. Even when I was talking to coach about the starting five before the game, he just would say he was like, "All right, Ward, Kenzie, the whole nine," and I'm like, "Okay, okay." I mean, he just knows. Obviously, he knows the players. He knows who he's going to start, right?
yeah.
Oh. So before I let you go, Regan, I really appreciate you coming on. You mentioned as far as the college aspect, I'm assuming that you want to play at the next level. Have you committed somewhere? Are you still trying to figure out where you want to go? How's that been going?
Yeah, I haven't committed yet. I'm still working, just trying to see the best fit for me. Looking at going to camps and everything. I think a big thing for me is just the culture of the team and the coaches and everything like that. Playing on different AU teams, the biggest thing has been if I close with my teammates, close with my coach and everything, it's just so much more enjoyable. So I think that is the biggest thing in the college process is looking into that and where I fit best. Obviously I want to go to a team that's going to compete but also a team that I'm comfortable with and I want to be there. It's tough going to college and being in a sport. It's like a job. So as long as you love the sport and you love the people you're doing with, I think it's super important and that's what I'm looking for in this college process.
Have you thought about what major you may try?
Yeah, I'm thinking business right now. I'm not exactly sure where in in that field, but yeah, business is where I'm headed to right now.
Maybe business with sports, possibly
That
basketball.
That definitely was a big part of it. I remember like sophomore year, I was in like sports management, something like that, because I was thinking of sitting in all my classes, like, I really don't enjoy any of these subjects. I'm like, I don't know what I would do. And the only thing I really enjoy is basketball. So I gotta find something with sports. So that has
Yeah.
definitely been at the top of the list, sports marketing, sports management, somewhere along those lines.
I mean, I see the WNBA obviously has been growing. I know Caitlin Clark has helped with that, and I
Mhm.
hope to see it continuously grow. Maybe that's an avenue. I know it's still a couple years down the road, but maybe tinker with that and see if maybe they have something. Because again, you want to get on something where I've always thought of certain sports, obviously like the NFL is like all the way up here. Like you could buy that stock, but it's like $1 million. I feel like the WNBA is still kind of new and still kind of growing. So I feel like it's a stock that's going to improve. So if you buy now, you may have to wait 5 to 10 years, but you could see it really kind of burst, could pop. Maybe that's something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to be involved with something with women's basketball. So it's been a huge part of my life, and I've always thinking like even after college or everything, like it's gonna be a huge void because it's been my whole life growing up. So being able to do something in that and just enjoying, I don't want to be in a job that I'm not enjoying. So something that I know I've enjoyed my whole life, I think I'll keep wanting to do it. So that would definitely be a great career option for me.
Just keep playing the game until they tell you can't play anymore. That's how I always thought when I played baseball throughout my entire life. You know? Hey, Regan, I appreciate you coming on. But best of luck as far as with the upcoming season that you have. Keep everything going. Hopefully you find a home soon to be able to call a home as far as your next, opportunity for college ball.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Always. I wrap things up here on the CT Sports Talent Show. So next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm sure you find them all. Enjoy the show, everybody, and be well.